Okay, fine. So yesterday we saw why agile, what is agile, and what are the principles of agile, and we also compared how it works on in restaurant and how we can relate some things with agile, right? And how the roles work in a restaurant and how it works on agile also. And we saw what is epic, user stories, story points, and acceptance criteria. So any questions in these from you people? Okay. So moving on, so we saw what is an epic. So breaking down the bigger piece of a functionality, we call it as an epic. And from the epic only, we will be creating user stories. So it will be an informal and general explanation with a very simple language, and we give a weightage to that story with the complexity and also the based on the risks, how much hours it will be taking for the development team to complete it and the testing team to test it. So that is called as story points. And then we also saw what is acceptance criteria. So from a story, what are from a user perspective, we'll be writing few steps on how the story will be achieved. So that is called as acceptance criteria. So next we'll see what is a sprint. Okay, so now we get a project. We get wait, I'll like explain it this way. So imagine we are getting a project from a client. Okay, say project P. What will happen is we say that I have already told you that project is having a deadline. Okay, so the client gives a deadline saying that it should start from 10th of November, and I should get it by maybe like the whole product maybe uh, 31st of December 2023. Okay, so this is his plan. This is 2022 and it should end by 2023. He says that. So this is the whole project deadline time. Okay, so now what will happen is in within this duration they will split this duration into multiple small iterations. Okay, so that iteration is called a sprint. Okay, so how they'll do is they'll split it into 1 week or 2 week duration or 3 weeks cycle or 4 weeks maximum. A 4 week iteration will only be available in a sprint. Okay, so the first iteration will start, the second iteration will go on, that will be for that will be for the next week, then iteration 3 will start after 2 weeks. So in this way, till the deadline we'll be splitting up the project duration into multiple iterations, that is called a sprint. Okay, so agile projects are broken down into sprints or iteration, and it is a repetitive phase which can go to 1 to 4 weeks long. Okay, why this is done is we will be having a complex task, right? That will be divided into smaller ones, and by doing this, what obviously we can expect high quality of work. Okay, so this is all about sprint. Any questions in this? Okay. So moving to the next one, we'll call it as product backlog. So product backlog again coming
Ma'am,
to, yeah.
what is the difference between epic and sprint, ma'am? Both are dividing sprint.
No, no, no. That is dividing the functionality into into small, what to say, pieces is called as epic. So this whole product, you imagine you have a product for say Swiggy. Okay, Swiggy app. So in that you have a login feature. You have no, what is that? Searching for the restaurant, searching for the food, and then adding to the cart, and then placing the order, payment feature, and then delivery feature. So we have so many, right? These are called as epics. But here, what will happen? A single iteration can have two or three epics also, depending on the sizes. It can have one single epic also. If the epic is a huge one, even three iterations will have a single epic.
Okay.
Okay. So now in this example, so imagine like So we have these many epics, right? So as I said, and for these epics we'll be having multiple stories also. So before starting of the project itself, they will maintain a list of features that needs to be developed and released for the iteration for the complete project, right? So that is called as product backlog. They'll be having, so I have a login feature, I have a search for what is that, a restaurant, and search for food, add to cart, payment, and delivery. I have these many features. So these are all, these will be before starting of the project itself, they will have a list of things that is called as product backlog. Okay, so list of items to be developed for end product is called as product backlog. All features are listed and pointed. So all these features will be obviously listed, and it will also be given weightage. Okay, give me a minute, 1 minute. 1 minute, guys, please. Hello. சொல்லுப்பா. இல்ல இல்ல, இந்த செஷன் எடுத்துட்டு இருக்கேன். சரி, ஒன்றும் இது பத்தி இல்லைல்ல. அதுதான் நான் கேட்டேன், நீங்க கன்ஃபியூஸ் ஆயிக்காதீங்க, நாங்க பண்ணிடுவோம் அப்படின்னாரு. நம்பர் வேணா உன்கிட்ட இருக்கல, ஒரு தடவை நீயும் கால் பண்ணி கேட்டுக்கிறியா? சரி சரி சரிப்பா, ஓகே, சரி, நான் இங்க வெயிட் பண்ணிட்டு இருக்காங்க வேற. ஓகேயா? நான் நைட் பேசுறேன். ஓகேப்பா, பை. சாரி கைஸ். So now, so this is about product backlog. So we'll be having list of features, and each feature they'll have a estimation also. Okay. So for this feature, for the login feature, I want it to be completed by iteration one, and the search for restaurant and search for food feature, I need to get it completed before iteration five. So this kind of estimation they will have it on the what to say, on the product backlog items. Okay, so now all features are listed and pointed. Who owns it is a product owner, is the owner of this product backlog. Okay, so this will be always specific to your end goal, that is the end of your product or project development. The this goal will be set to that only the end of that project goal. Okay, so this is all about product backlog. Okay, fine, any doubts here? Okay, now we saw what is a product backlog. So now we'll see what is a sprint backlog. So now in this example, so now they have picked, we have iteration one. So in what they will do is, these are all uh, uh, planned only for the whole project, right? Now we have iteration, so something needs to be done on the iteration one. So we have planned that we need login feature, login epic to be completed here. So now they will list down all the stories of the login epic before starting the iteration. Okay, they will have a list. This is called a sprint backlog. Before start of the sprint, they will have a list of items which need to be addressed or completed in that sprint. That is called a sprint backlog. Now we'll see here list of items that needs to be developed for each sprint. That is called a sprint backlog. All features collected from where they'll pull these features is, obviously they'll be pulling it from your product backlog. Okay. So all the features collected from product backlog are listed and pointed. So the product backlog, who owns it is a product owner, but the sprint backlog, who owns it is a agile team. Agile team is no one, like it's a completely a developer, tester, a business analyst, everyone are part of uh, an agile. Okay, agile team. So that one is specific to the project or product, and this one is specific to that sprint. This list should be completed in that specific sprint or iteration. This is the difference between product and sprint backlog. Any questions in this?
Ma'am,
Yeah.
Agile team is coordinated by any leader or project manager.
Sorry. We have Scrum leader for that, Scrum master. I'll come to the roles also. Okay. I'll tell you in detail what are the different roles we see in Agile.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
product backlog, the list of items like login, like subscribe, order. These
Yeah.
are the items, ma'am.
Yeah. The all the features for the product, right, from the requirement. Okay, we have a set of requirements and we'll be listing out all of them into what to say, into epics and
Product backlog.
stories, right? So that will be part of your product backlog for the complete product. But in your for your sprint backlog, for that upcoming sprint, what you are going to work on will be in the list of your sprint backlog.
In the specific iteration of each epic, ma'am.
No, not epic. Specific to each iteration. Sprint. Iteration or sprint. You call it as sprint. Okay.
In that sprint, which epic we are working, it will be detailedly explained in the sprint backlog, ma'am.
Yes, exactly. So in sprint one, what all the stories that I'm going to work on, that will be in your sprint backlog.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay. Now, what is Scrum? Scrum is nothing but we have a process to facilitate the agile methodology, right? We'll be having multiple meetings and a process to do it, right? That is called as Scrum. Okay. Obviously, it will be like addressed as Scrum, Agile Scrum methodology only. Okay. So, this is also a term which you need to know. Then so now coming to the roles and responsibilities. Obviously, we are having so much things going on in a agile team, in a agile process. So we need different set of people to handle each thing. Okay, so now we'll see what are the roles and what are the responsibilities of each roles in an agile team. Okay, first coming to the product owner. So as I said earlier, product owner, he owns the product log backlog, which means that he'll be having a direct communication with everyone related to the project. Okay, so he'll be having a good vision on what the project is about, what the requirement is about. He will have what is a direct interaction with the stakeholders on to get the requirement, and he will also own the product backlog. Okay, so in this picture you'll be able to see this guy owns the product, he knows the business goals, he'll be the only person who can directly interact with all the stakeholders, and he will have a clear vision on what the product is about. He'll maintain the product backlog, and he will also communicate everything with the development team. In agile, development team means it's a developer and testers and developer together will be called as development team in a agile. Okay, so as a product owner, he is the voice of the customer and part of product development team, and works closely with the stakeholders, should have the deep understanding of the product, takes care and creates list of product backlog items, and he only describes the sprint objective. So this sprint should complete this feature from the backlog. These features should be in the sprint 1. These features should fall into sprint 2. Every decision will be in a product owner's hand. Okay, any question here? Someone asked this question, right, just now? Okay, fine. Now going to the next, Scrum Master. So now we have someone who will be like communicating with every team, and now we have someone who is going to like facilitate everything in a team. That guy will just take part everything related to your product and requirements and all. Okay, but this guy, he will work very closely with the team. He is the one who will conduct the meetings, and if some team member are lagging in something, he is the person who will arrange for some what is there trainings and all. So, and he will always be in touch with the development team continuously to keep in track of their progress. Okay, so that is a scrum master's role. So scrum master is a scrum team member. He is also team member, and he is a collaborator. He works collaboratively with everyone, protective, helping, problem solver, committed and available, and is knowledgeable. This guy should also have knowledge on the product. Okay, product and also the process. So this is the person who facilitates the complete team, and he coaches the team, he encourages the team members, and he is the one who conducts the meeting also. Okay, so you know the difference between product owner and the scrum master, right? So coming to the next one. Yeah.
I did not get the difference, ma'am. Please, can you give me a brief?
See, this guy is completely related to the product features, the what to say, to take care of the requirements, to make a list of what product backlog, and also he also involves in creating the sprint backlog. What feature should come in which sprint, he will only take care. So he's completely related only to the what to say product related items. But this guy, he is like, he will just communicate with the development team, like he will ask what is the progress, have you completed, and that's it. But if that development team is facing some issues, or they are having some blockers, or they're having some resource problem or technical issues, so these type of things and all, the scrum master will only help out the team in solving it, and he will conduct meetings with the team members often.
Okay,
Okay,
okay, okay, ma'am.
any more
Ha-
question?
How
Yeah.
can we relate it, ma'am, in general? And is there any example we can relate this to so
In
that we can?
to relate this, you want a real time example, you're asking, right? Okay. Okay, now you in the restaurant we said, right? So the one who takes up our orders, right, he has nothing related with what is happening inside the kitchen, right? He'll just
Okay,
take up your order and he will go and give it to the chef. So
okay,
that what the person who takes up our order is called as product owner. Okay, and the person who the chef, right, he knows, right, who will be doing what. If there is some problem in the kitchen, the chef will sort out. If someone is lagging some what to say skills and all, he'll help them out. Okay, you put this much of salt, this much of water and all, he'll help out, right? So that
yes,
guy is called a scrum master.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, so any more questions? Okay, fine. So moving on to the next person, he's called as a business analyst. Okay, so the business analyst also plays a very important role. Okay, so that guy will be like part of your development team. Okay, and he will also like whatever the product owner takes the features, right, splits up the features, and he'll be creating stories, right? The business owner will also be part of creating stories, and if the product owner has brought in something, he will obviously review it also. Okay, he will review it, and he will get it clarified that this is the story about. If something is missing, he will again communicate it with the product owner and get everything in a good picture. So that is the main role of a business analyst. Okay, so if you see here, business analyst in some companies, both role will be played by a same person. Okay, so and they'll be in direct contact with the scrum master and also the development team. So if the development team has got some clarification in some features, okay, so now you are going to work on a search for restaurant feature in your for your Swiggy app. You're developing it and you're testing it. So while reading the story, you're getting some doubts. Okay, so when you get some clarifications, the development team can directly get in touch with the business analyst and they can get the clarifications done. You can ask them, see, this feature is saying something I'm not able to understand. What is it really about? If you question a business analyst, he will give a good picture of what the feature is about. So so what a business analyst does is grooming backlog stories. Grooming means, see, in the sprint backlog, imagine here you're working on sprint 1, okay, and you have 5 stories to be worked, okay, but what happens is your team is able to complete only 4, and for iteration 2 you have 7 stories to be done, okay, on your sprint backlog. Now here you have one left out, right? So what will happen is, this for the next sprint, this sorry, excuse me, a business analyst will prioritize, okay, out of the 7 and plus this one, which needs to be worked first on the iteration 2 or sprint 2. He will prioritize, and he will put it as a new list. So that is called as grooming of the backlog stories, okay. So that will be done by the business analyst, and works with product owner and stakeholder to understand the scope. Obviously this guy also has direct connection with the stakeholders, and he will also discuss with the product in the initial meeting. Before preparing the backlog, they will be taking part, and they will prepare the backlogs and prepares the business document. So we'll be having a bits and pieces of stories and features, right? So putting them together and preparing business documents, approving them, everything will be taken care by the business analyst, and he will review the stories created by the product owner. Okay, is it clear now? So these three roles are very important. Product owner, scrum master, and business analyst are very important roles in an agile methodology. You need to have a good understanding. Okay. Okay, now moving on to, so this is how the Scrum team works. Okay, we'll be having a product owner, a Scrum master, and a development team. So who will be part of the development team is developer, business analyst, and a test engineer will be part of your development team. And person will also be having a direct contact with them, and this guy will contact this person, and this guy will also be contacting this person, so they will work together as a team. Okay, that is called a scrum team. Okay, are the people clear? Okay, fine. So now ceremonies are nothing but meetings in your agile are always termed as ceremonies. Okay, so we are having different meetings in a agile methodology. So first one is sprint planning, okay, and next one is daily stand up, sprint review, sprint retrospective, and sprint refinement. Okay, so now we'll see what is sprint planning. So before starting of the sprint, I said, right, you will be having a sprint backlog, right? So before starting of the sprint, they will have a meeting to decide on what items from the product backlog needs to be pulled into the sprint backlog and to be worked on the upcoming sprint. So that type of what is it, to define that sprint backlog and to define on how the work should be done, we'll be having a sprint planning meeting before the sprint starts. Okay, so see, you have a product backlog, and what you do is, in the sprint planning, what needs to be pulled from the product backlog and how that needs to be done in the team in the upcoming sprint, that will be discussed, and the output would be the sprint goal and the features delivered in this sprint or iteration. I will be delivering this feature, so that will be decided here. So the sprint planning usually starts at the start of the sprint. For each sprint, before starting of the each sprint, uh, wait, I'll say, so you have a product, okay, and now you're having multiple sprints. So this is iteration or sprint one. Usually they term it as iteration only, okay? And iteration two or sprint two, iteration three or sprint three, okay? And we have a product backlog over here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, say up to 100 features or some features. Okay, we have these many features. So now the every iteration or sprint, each sprint will be for 2 weeks. Okay, this is the plan. Now what happens is, before starting of iteration 1, what they will do is they will do a sprint planning. In this sprint planning, they will pull set of features from your product backlog into your sprint backlog. Okay. In sprint planning only these things will be done. So we are going, they will decide that in iteration 1 or sprint 1, I am going to have my team worked on feature 1, feature 2 and feature 3. So this is going to be there in the sprint backlog. Okay. So this is about sprint planning. Any questions? So this one, right, where they will pull it, they have the sprint, they have a list of the items on sprint backlog, right? So we have few tools. Okay, we have Jira and all for tracking the process. So in that we'll be having something called board. So in that board they will add the features 1 2 3, and each and every feature will be picked and worked from the board. Okay, that is called a scrum board. Okay, so usually at the start of the sprint, team decides what should be worked on for the following sprint. The tasks are pulled from product backlog, and Scrum board is used for planning. Okay, any questions here? Okay, fine. So now moving on to the next ceremony or meeting, which is called as daily stand up. So my iteration has started. Okay, now my work has also started. So I am in day one of my iteration. So this iteration is for 2 weeks. So obviously it will go for 10 days. Okay, excluding your weekends. It will go for 10 days. So I am on my day one. Okay, so I'm on my day one. So what will happen is I have started working. I to start working every day. We'll have a meeting for around 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, maximum of 15 only it should be. So what they will do is in that meeting it will be facilitated by the Scrum Master here. What he will do is he will ask, "What are you?" We have person A, B, and C working in the development team, developer as a developer, and E and D in testing team. Okay, so he'll get inputs from each person on what are you going to work for today, and what you will be what status it is when you will complete everything. He'll get, and he'll get a status. And again on day two, what will happen is he will again have a stand up. This is a daily meeting on daily basis. He will get details on what you were working yesterday. Did you complete it, or something is pending, or are you having any issues in continuing with the day one activity? So he'll get that, and he'll say what you will be doing today. So that will also be requested, what to say, it will also be got from each and every person. Okay, and day 3, again he'll ask status of day 2 and what will be done on the day 3, and if he's having any issues also, they'll be asking him to get it clarified in that meeting. So that meeting is called as daily stand up. Okay, so as I said, it's a daily team meeting for 15 minutes. It discusses the project's progress. Okay, so what yesterday was done, what today it will be done, and what are you planning for tomorrow will also be discussed in this. And if impediments means if we are having any blockers, if yesterday's work is not been, you were not able to progress with yesterday's work, what are the reasons, how it can be clarified, everything will be taken care here. Okay, in this daily stand up. Any question? So here I have put, right, time frame of 15 minutes. It will be done at the same place. Okay, in the same meeting hall or on the same meeting invite. It will be done every day and at the same time, and it will be done by this who will facilitate it by the Scrum Master, and whole team should be available for that. And upon it focuses upon three questions: what I did yesterday, what I'll do today, and what is in my way, or what I'll be doing tomorrow. Okay, any question? Okay, fine. Now sprint review. So now I have planned for the sprint. I have started the sprint. I have worked the sprint, and now my 2 weeks of sprint has been completed. Okay, 2 weeks is done and my sprint is completed. So after complete, we will have a review meeting. So in that review meeting, we will see what are all, like what are all the problems faced by the team, what are all, like if some features are ready, we'll also give a demo to the product team or the stakeholder. Okay, so that is the main objective of your sprint review. Okay, occurs at the end of the sprint. Who will be part of this meeting is dev team, scrum master, and also the product owner will be part of this team. So it will be a 1 hour meeting because we are going to give a demo to the product owner on what the project is really about, what features we have developed in sprint 1. We'll give a demo to the product owner, and if we give some what to say feedbacks, right, that will also be addressed in the upcoming sprints. Okay, so this is the main objective of sprint review meeting. So now coming to the product backlog refinement. Now what happens, I have finished few features on product backlog, imagine. So here, feature 1 is done in your sprint, what to say, sprint 1. Okay, so I'll remove this from my product backlog. Now feature 2 is needs to be done, right? So what I will do is, now I will list that feature 2 in the sprint backlog of iteration 2, right? So I will decide on what are features needs to be addressed for iteration 2. I'll decide on that. And imagine while working on sprint 1, right, we come across a very huge bug. That bug is going to be a feature change itself. Okay, so at that time we need to add features in the backlog, right? So that is going to be a new feature, right? So we need to add that also into the backlog. So again, they'll refine this stories on the product backlog to prioritize which needs to be picked first. So that for that we'll be having a meeting that is called as product backlog refinement. So this is called as grooming. I have already said you, right, grooming. So to make the product backlog in a very good shape, if we're having any new features added, or if we have a bug which needs to be addressed later, so everything will be again put in as a feature and it will be estimated and refined. So that is called as product backlog refinement meeting. Okay, so it is also known as grooming. Toward completion of sprint, what they'll do is they'll review backlog stories and keep it clean for the next sprint. Okay, understood what is product backlog refinement? Okay, fine.
Ma'am,
Yeah,
once again, that one product backlog refinement.
yeah. You want
Once
me?
again, can you please explain?
Okay. See, now you have list of features. Okay, I'll tell you why. So you have a product and you have three iterations. Okay, multiple iterations. I'll pick only three. So first sprint, we have, wait, sprint 2 and we have sprint 3. Okay, and we have list of features on product. This is product backlog. Okay, here you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you have dot dot dot. We have 100 features or 1,000 features of anything. So now what happens is, we have already put feature 1 and feature 2 in your sprint backlog or before sprint 1. Okay, and your sprint 1 is development and testing is going on, started. It is going for a week. Now this is done. At the end of the sprint, in the sprint review meeting, we see that we the testing team has raised a bug. Okay, that bug is a high priority bug, very huge bug, and it needs to be addressed as a new feature. Okay, this is a new feature. So what they will do is, at that time they will add this as a new feature into your product backlog. So now you have 1,001 features in total, right? So now in your product backlog refinement meeting, what they will do is, once the sprint is over, they will again sit and prioritize this one. Okay, so they'll remove out 1 and 2 because it's already completed. And what they will do is, now they'll have 3, 4, we have 3, 4, 5 and 1,000 plus that bug which we have addressed as a feature, right? So now they'll go through. Okay, sometimes what will happen is the customers might say, I want feature number 5 to be developed first before 4 and 3. So what they'll do is they'll sit and refine it. Okay, so for the next iteration, we need to pull in feature 5 first, and then this is a high priority bug which also needs to be addressed by the client. So after feature 5, I will address the bug, and then after that 3 and 4 will be addressed. Then later we'll take care of the other features. So refining it in this way it will be done in a backlog refinement meeting. Okay, clear now? It was Pratibha, right?
Hello? No, ma'am. This is Asmita.
Okay, okay, are you clear now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, fine. So now, sorry, this is how it completely works upon. Okay, so the product owner, he'll get the inputs from the customers, team managers and executives, and he will create a product backlog. Based on that, a sprint planning meeting will start. Team commits as much as priority backlog as can be completed in end of the sprint. In the upcoming sprint, how much I can finish, that will be put into the sprint backlog. Okay, then the sprint will start. In the sprint, what will happen is you'll be having your development and all the works being done. So in that, we'll be having daily stand-ups daily. So that's why we have put it here. Who will be facilitating as the scrum master. And once the this thing is done, right, retrospective, I forgot to say about the retrospective meeting. Retrospective, we will plan on what are all needs to be pulled for the upcoming sprints. Okay, that will be planned, and again we'll be doing the sprint plan meeting. Okay, any doubts in anything?
Ma'am, here sprint review is there, no, ma'am. When end of the each sprint, ma'am.
Yeah, end of each sprint we'll be doing a sprint review. In sprint review only, what will happen is we'll be giving a demo to the product owner.
Each sprint, ma'am. For
Yes,
each.
yes, yes. We should be giving it.
If it is 10 sprints, also you have to give each sprint review, ma'am.
Sorry?
In specific project, there is 10 sprints, ma'am.
Okay, each sprint we have to give demo for the because in if we have 10 sprints also, in this sprint one we should have developed 1 and 2, right? So that we should demo to the product owner. That is the best quality of your agile system, which is not in any other methodology. Okay, that's why most of the companies are taking up agile now. So I told you, right, like where is that? We'll be having frequent releases and frequent delivery. So difference is frequent delivery is we'll be like each and every sprint we will give it to the we'll show it to the product owner, and we'll show him this we can deliver in the next release. So that is the best feature of agile. And I forgot to like mention about sprint retrospective. Okay, this will most of the things what we'll discuss in the sprint retrospective is before starting the sprint planning meeting after a sprint, right? So now I have sprint 1 completed. Okay, after that, what will the scrum master do is he will call in the complete team, okay, both the development and the testing team, and he will ask what are all issues you faced in sprint 1 and how it can be sorted. Like how no, they'll have a list of items saying what went well, or what was good and what was bad, and how it can be rectified. So everything they'll be discussing in the sprint retrospective meeting. I forgot to put it in the sheet. I think I put it in the list, but I forgot here. Okay, I'll add it and I'll share you. Okay, today. So this is all about agile. This is a very important what to say methodology you need to learn. And if you are going to add it like add in your resume that I have knowledge on agile, these are the main areas you will be questioned. So that's why I have put agile is a very huge vast area. If you get into that only, you'll know everything. But these are the important topics related to your interviews. Okay, these are the
Ma'am,
very, yeah.
if it's 1,000 or 2,000 features, everything we should iteration.
Yeah, for everything they'll split up into sprints. One sprint, no, sometimes if it goes for 1 week, they might have 10 features to develop, depending on the team size also. Okay, suppose that team is having around 10 developers and 5 or 10 testers. So obviously in a single sprint of 1 week they will have 20 stories also for developing and testing. So if they are going to have a 2 week sprint, then obviously there'll be around 30 stories. And if it's going to be a four week sprint, they might have around 50 stories also. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is all about agile. So I want you to like learn and understand everything. If you really want to get into testing, this will be, even if you're automation or manual, doesn't matter, this will be a part of your interview questions.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
sorry, ma'am.
No, no issues.
In product backlog,
Okay.
you have said that there will be list of features, no, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Like login, subscribe.
Yeah.
Means the nothing but Epic, no, ma'am.
That's what I said, right? You're asking about sprint, right? A product, yeah, epics will be there, and the related stories will also be there in your product backlog.
Yes, okay. That's it.
Any more questions? I think for today, I wanted to cover agile in a single day, but yesterday I was able to kickstart. So I thought, okay, we'll complete it today. So any more questions for you people, or we can